All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Stone. Shalom to the elect wishing this word in truth and in sincerity. With the hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is the name of His only begotten Son. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the MOTB. The serpent juice is the precursor to the MOTB. Yahweh Shai, whom dwelling many call Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So I want to do a quick lesson upon deception, lies, and biological warfare. And this isn't going to be a long lesson. I might just bring out a few precepts, but mostly what I want to do is listen to this video itself. And I'm not going to play the whole video. I'm just going to play a quick clip of the video, because a lot of information is being brought out. And say, how them set up these things right now. Once GMS put it out, them quick to remove the video or shadow ban it. So let's get into it. This is 2 Corinthians 2 verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, we are not ignorant of his plans. That's why we bring out so much information. And this information is not of our, we not come to these information of our own accord. These information was revealed unto us by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, as is written in Amos 3, so the Lord doeth nothing but revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So I want to go to, I've been bringing out this precept a lot. This is, no, I'm not going to bring out this one. I'm going to bring out Psalms 140. Verse 1. It said, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, deliver me, O Yahweh, from the violent man. Preserve me from the violent. So I can read this again, I made a mistake. So it said, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischief in their hearts. Continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Others' poison is under their lips. Selah, to go into their lies, their manipulation, you see me, their secret desires. Keep me, O Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purpose to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me, and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. Selah. I said unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, thou art my God, hear the voice of my supplication. So, I want you to listen to this clip. Show you that your enemy, there's no freak accidents taking place now. These things are being engineered for a particular outcome. So let's run this clip.
Well, we were all hoping COVID was a one-time disaster, a lab leak that would serve as a wake-up call. Instead, it looks like parts of the mad scientist community are determined to give us an encore, and many of these people are funded by or working directly for our government. Now, before you say, oh, this is just a theory, you're a conspiracy theorist, COVID didn't come from a lab, let's go ahead and watch this.
To us, it was extraordinary that from the very beginning, the CIA scientists that were hired to look at this said it looked like it came from the lab. All of the evidence seemed to point towards that this was a lab leak, in all likelihood accidental, but that it came from the lab in Wuhan, China. And yet they were being overruled by people. Specifically, the whistleblower said that Anthony Fauci came in 2020 and they had a 90-day period in which all the intel was going through the National Intelligence Center. They were going to come up with a conclusion of what everybody everybody was thinking, that Anthony Fauci was brought in and basically they took his opinion over all of their scientists. And their scientists were nearly unanimous. It was like 6 out of 7 of the scientists that were experts in this field all said it came from the lab. Anthony Fauci comes in and says no. But the one question they never ask, and this is the real sort of conspiracy, and people say, what is a conspiracy? Is it people rubbing their hands together and making money? Were they all in a cabal? And it's not really as sexy as that. It's more that they have the same a convergence of interests. You know, George Carlin said you don't need to have a conspiracy to explain something where interests converge. And the interest is basically...
They have the same agenda, yo, which you refer to as the new world order. You know, them phrase it in a various ways, but it's the same agenda. And in that new world order, it's gonna be, you're gonna be tripped, you know, and that's gonna be a new identity. Failing to comply is gonna be very detrimental to you, and that's why. And this is for you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's why now is the time to turn to your Abba Shimmy with your whole heart. Because things is about to get very, very spooky upon the earth, yo. As it is written in Isaiah 33 verse 6, so wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. A lot of people now going to be stable. And one of the things that I'm going to use to draw people closer to this is various natural disasters, pestilence, the wars, where I see a transpire. You know, so them can bring in these technological advancement, these so-called miracles. So various pestilence you hear them talk about now, we're not going to have more. People are going to get big. The people are going to give over them freedom due to fear. Because of them lack wisdom and understanding. And that's why I want to say Ephesians 5, the scripture tells us, say, redeeming the times because the days are evil. And if you look out on the world right now, the things that are more transfer on the earth, these are not no normal occurrence. So they refer to what's going on now is a continuation from polycrisis of a couple years back. Every year it will get worse. From 2020 tripping, although they have many more things they are transpiring come up, but from 2020 tripping, you know, the world have been turned upside down, and it's just getting worse and worse.
Covering their tracks because they funded this dangerous research. It was a serious mistake in judgment, maybe one of the worst mistakes in judgment of the last century, to fund dangerous gain-of-function research in Wuhan. They fund it. Now this virus takes off, so what do they do for the next several years? Even people who didn't know each other, they're all doing the same thing. We don't want anything to link us to funding this, and so we'll just deny that it was gain of function. So I think the shocking thing was that how much power Anthony Fauci had, even in the CIA. This isn't the NIH. This is CIA that Anthony Fauci's influencing.
So that is Senator Rand Paul claiming Anthony Fauci walked into a CIA briefing in 2020 and overrode the conclusions of 6 out of 7 analysts who believed COVID most likely originated from the Wuhan lab. Investigative journalist Paul Thacker has been sounding the alarm on this issue from the very beginning. Back in 2021, he exposed how a small circle of experts and reporters transformed maybe this came from a lab into don't even ask questions, that's a conspiracy theory. Paul was on top of this very early on, and now he's reporting on another extraordinary case. Last month, Paul reported that NIH virologist Vincent Munster was caught smuggling dangerous viruses into the United States while conducting research in Africa. And now the Department of Justice has announced that both Munster and his assistant have been charged.
Well, which place they always hear them say, have outbreaks? Because them go down there and do them research and try them thing upon the people them down there, yo. You don't understand on the enemy. And that's why I'm in the predicament when you know, even now. Because an enemy are come at us in so much ways when I can't even understand. But remember, as we have said, when I see something, things transpire where when I try to make sense of it, but then I can't. Because I'm not giving you no explanation. And if them do give no explanation, it's not going to make no sense even to Uno. These are the times that we're coming into,
Smuggling monkeypox into the United States and giving false statements to federal law enforcement. So this isn't just about one scientist. It's about a culture that treats dangerous pathogens as a playground while the public is expected to simply trust that everything is under control. I mean, just recently, Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, testified that the U.S. has funded 120 biolabs in 30 different countries. 120 biolabs. Doing what? And for why? Well, joining us now is Paul Thacker, investigative journalist who's been following and breaking these stories. He also publishes loads of information and great stories on a Substack called Disinformation Chronicle. Paul, welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me on again.
This is a pretty frightening culture. I mean, many of us want to think COVID was a one-off. These scientists said, oh, don't worry, we don't do gain-of-function research. Meanwhile, we're hearing story after story, it seems, of biolabs that are doing exactly that, conducting research, transporting viruses around, as you just reported with this Vincent Munster guy. Anthony Fauci saying, oh, don't tell people it came from a lab. Let's start with Anthony Fauci. Why cover up the lab leak the way that he did? And do you think it's connected to like these 120 biolabs that we're funding, to Vincent Munster smuggling around monkeypox from Africa? I mean, what the hell is going on in the scientific community?
So if you go back and look, I want to say, I believe it was in 2011 or 2012, Fauci, Francis Collins, who was then director of the NIH, and Fauci's deputy at the institute he ran at the NIH, they published an essay in the Washington Post saying, well, hey, it's worth it to do this type of research. And that kind of set the tone, I believe, for the research community that we're going to do this gain-of-function research, and this is how things are going to be done. And so when the pandemic started, you can look and see from the emails that eventually came out. It took years for emails to come out. One email actually just came out recently. Senator Paul just released, which we can get to in a second. But I think what happened is they were concerned for two potential reasons, right? One is that they knew that this was a lab accident that happened in Wuhan. So you can look and see that they were obviously concerned about what was going on.
I remember stop them there. It's easy for them telling us a lab accident. These things were purposely done. That's what I believe. These things were purposely done to push this agenda, for see all the people that react in this type of crisis. What is the transpire? A lot of people give over them rights. A lot of people go take one jump shot. It was an experiment. I don't even want to go much in it, but you're supposed to know what I'm talking about, that jump shot. You know? Even to this day, a lot of people still suffer from the effects. A lot of people died due to wrong taking that jump shot due to fear. So, I want to bring out this last precept, and I'm going to close on this note. So this is Micah 2 verse 1, and it reads, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands. And as you can see right now, don't surprise by next month you say another disease, you have another outbreak. Because what you have right now in Africa, when them say you have Ebola, you have another disease that I'm talking about recently, you know. And things just are going to get worse and worse as we draw nigh unto the end of this age. So I hope this is edifying that I want to say Kalalal, the Hawa, Barashima Hawa Shai, Barashima Karakodash, Shalom.